Taking a full look at weather now. Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca. I felt like the fog was going to be really bad like it was last night for me coming in from San Jose, but not so bad at this hour, but still visible.
We still have a little bit of fog out there in some areas, and as we take a live look from Domenico's, you're not going to see any in Monterey. We had a little bit last night, tried to sneak in, and then earlier at sunset it almost looked like it was trying to get foggy in Monterey, but at the moment we're not foggy. We do have some fog in and around Salinas, however, and I've had a report also in Watsonville of some fog as well. Hard to see it though because it is below the high clouds that are passing by right now, and that makes it difficult for the satellite to see the lower clouds. So we're using the visibility trackers at area airports plus viewer reports to find out exactly where that fog is. We also saw from our live look from our Mount Toro cam early that we do have some patchy fog around Salinas, but right now Watsonville looking like the trouble spot. That's where we've seen some of the lowest visibility numbers. So if you're out and about really anywhere, I would say on the south and east sides of the bay tonight, just keep an eye out or drive a little extra slowly. You may encounter some areas of reduced visibility on the roadways. Now, those high clouds I mentioned are coming from an area of low pressure off to our west. That's going to pass by us overnight as a trough of low pressure digs here across the west coast, at least through the Pacific Northwest. I want you to look at this low pressure system out here and then just put it in the back of your mind. It's like when the magician shows you the card. Remember this card? I want you to remember that one. We're going to do a trick with this in a little while. This one you can forget about. It's not going to be a big deal. But I want to show you that the trough is going to sneak down the west coast here tomorrow and likely to bring a little bit of precipitation to the region, but not much. We could see a couple sprinkles here locally as the weak cold front comes through, but ultimately I think all we're going to see is some gusty winds out over the water and also the introduction of some cooler air, which is going to stick with us for the rest of the week. And then we're going to be watching that next series of systems working its way into the Pacific Northwest. All right, now do you remember your card? What was it? No, there it is. There's that area of low pressure out there. And notice that this next system right here has a little connection to it, all right? So it's going to start drawing in some moisture from that low that's been sitting out there, which has been pumping up moisture into the Central Pacific for a while. And as it heads down the coast, it will be packed with cold air and some moisture. Those two ingredients together this time of year usually end up bringing us wind and rain, and that is what I'm expecting later on in the week, likely in the Thursday to Friday time frame, and then potentially another system sneaking in behind it, which we see right here, which is going to be in the Saturday to Sunday time frame, which could bring some additional rain to the region. Now, these are some cold systems, so temperatures are going to be pretty chilly, I think, for the remainder of the week, especially with those systems coming through into the weekend. Snow levels will probably dip. We might see a little instability, could see some small hail, and also could see some gusty winds with that first system on Thursday. So lots to watch out for as we head to the week, so please stay tuned to my forecast this week. I'll keep you up to date on what to expect. As we take a look at Futurecast, it is showing a little bit of fog around the bay overnight tonight, and that certainly is already occurring and will be possible throughout the morning hours, so watch out again for areas of reduced visibility. We'll also have some passing high clouds at times. Now, during the afternoon tomorrow, that weak cold front's going to come through, making things a little bit blustery. We see a few extra clouds associated with it. It's possible we could get a couple sprinkles, but I think we're going to stay dry for the most part as it passes by. And besides the colder, windier conditions, it looks like it's going to be pretty uneventful. Let's move over to your temperature forecast tomorrow. I think some areas will still be fairly mild ahead of the front, but ultimately it's going to be much cooler. Look at the mountains. Highs only in the low 50s at the summit and in Bonnie Doon, upper 50s in the valleys of the Santa Cruz Mountains. Temperatures barely reaching 60 in Santa Cruz and Capitola, and we were in the 70s at times over the last week, so you're going to feel the cooler temperatures tomorrow. 61 in Hollister, 62 in Salinas, but staying in the 50s back toward the Bay Shore. Over to the Monterey Peninsula, expecting highs mainly in the 50s tomorrow. So again, a chilly day out there. And then farther south, we might see a few 60s before that cold air arrives, but generally a chilly day for us across the region. Now, no more warm air on the way. Temperatures are going to stay seasonably cool for the next several days. They might warm up just on the front side of that system on Thursday, but even our coastal lows in the mid-30s by Wednesday, we could see some patchy frost even for coastal cities. Not a freeze or anything, but patchy frost for coastal cities on Wednesday. Places like Marina, Aptos are a little more prone to that frost. Some of the areas around the Monterey Peninsula where that cold air can kind of pool. So again, just to kind of recap later on, we've got rain likely on Thursday, which could linger into Friday. Another system late Saturday into Sunday. Cold air with these systems, the snow levels coming down in the mountains. It's going to be a chilly one, but we're used to that this time of year, right? Inland areas, look at that low Wednesday morning averaging 29. degrees. Our higher valleys going to be looking at a hard freeze Wednesday morning, and some of even the lower valleys might be dealing with, a few hours of freezing temperature. So it's something we need to be prepared for in advance of that Wednesday morning. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on those rain chances through the end of the week. Veronica.
Sounds good, Dan. Appreciate it. Thank you.